Hello everyone, and welcome back to my channel, and welcome back to my Game of Thrones Legends mobile game content. So today, folks, we have some nifty little tidbits of information that's come our way. We have a release for an upcoming patch, and it's 1.0.267. And today they made the post and the announcement of the patch notes for that update. Now, everybody may not have this update yet. Some may not. It's just the way that different platforms roll out these updates, and just because the patch notes are out, it does not necessarily mean that you have the availability to get the patch. So you may have to be patient for just a few days for some of this stuff to hit your app store for the platform you use. So today we're going to talk about these updates, though, because I've really been looking forward to getting home from work so I can do this, because there's a lot of really cool stuff in here that I wanted to talk about. So first off, right off the bat, they hit us with the stuff that's new, and that's really cool because, of course, we love the new stuff. We need new content. That's one of the things that really will help the game stay fresh and be alive, and new content is something we desperately need. We're going to get the new Criston Cole, the Kingmaker. This is a different version of Criston Cole than you currently have the ability to have. This one was accidentally dropped in one of the summon events there for a while, and then I've got a buddy that follows my content. His name is Bassmaster. He actually got to get one of the versions of Criston Cole, but he hasn't been able to do anything with him really because there haven't been any summon events for him yet. But he was the one that kind of leaked it to everybody and said, hey, what's this? What do I got here? And then that kind of let everybody that didn't have other ways to find this information out find out that he was even in the game. So the new Criston Cole, the Kingmaker, has been added to the Attack on Rook's Rest event and summon. So the next time that Rook's Rest comes around again, he'll be in there. So you've got the Battle of the Bastards coming up next, and then you will have the Egg event right after that, and then it will be back to Rook's Rest, because we just got through with the latest edition of Rook's Rest the last couple days, so it's going to be a few days before that one comes back around again. But the next time it does come around, he will be added to that summon, so that will be the time where everybody can finally get their hands on him. And I know that the Greens are really looking forward to this, because he is going to be a super good tank for their team, and it's going to make the Green teams even even more overpowered than they already are. Wow, you guys have really got it going on. I really am jealous of these Green teams, because they're just owning everything. They're owning events, they're owning Legendary Assault, they're owning raids, they're owning everything. So yeah, congrats to you guys who are using those teams. I know you're happy about it. They've added new backgrounds to the challenge battles of the Monsters Beyond the Wall Proving Grounds event, so I guess that means we're going to get that coming back around again like we did that one time. I thought that was just kind of a one-off testing thing, but I guess not. I guess it's going to come back around again, and we're going to get to try that again. We'll see how that goes. They added a large silver bundle to the store, so thankfully they're finally listening to us, where a lot of us are clamoring for more ways to get silver. It'll be interesting to see what the price tag on this is, though, because, you know, it could be pretty expensive. So I'll kind of hold my breath on that one. I think it's great that they're going to add it, but if it's so expensive that we can't afford it, then, I mean, that doesn't really do us a lot of good, really. But just the fact that they're listening to our cries and, you know, the pleas that we're making about we need more silver, or we need faster ways to get, you know, regenerate silver from our miners, or just whatever. We just need more silver. It's really bad. Updated the UI where factions are surfaced to include the play style of the faction. So that kind of sounds like it's going to give you just a little bit more play tutoring, you know, on how to actually use these factions. Some of them are just a little bit of a mystery to me because I don't use them. So it would be interesting to see some of that. So I like it. Then they go into talking about the legendary protector, Criston Cole, the Kingmaker version. Cristan leads the charge for the Greens faction as a tank with a strong single target attack. So he's going to be a single target guy. He's not going to focus on an AoE. His thing is going to be hit one person, hit him hard, and taunt. So he's going to be taking the aggression away from the rest of the team. I don't think the green teams are going to complain about that because they have other characters that they would like to keep alive, like their Otto, their Alicent, Sunfire. So that's probably going to be a really cool thing. He's more than capable of taking some hits and maintaining taunt to support the early aggression of his allies. So as long as he can keep the enemy focused on him for the first few turns so that they can get their birthright machine generation going, wow, they're going to be severely stronger than they are already. So this is getting depressing with the green teams, I'm telling you, especially if you're somebody that has to face them. I don't even know how I can compete at this point. I just can't. And it's just, wow. His attack is going to be anywhere from 2,000 to 33,500. And I guess what we're doing here is we're looking at a base level to a maximum level. And that probably does not encompass gear, because I don't really know how they would factor what gear you could possibly have in there on them. So that's probably just a base level from min to max. And then we've got defense of 3,000 to 52,000, hit points of 6,600 to 119,000. So he has some really good defense and hit points, which that's what he is. He's a tank. So that stands to reason. His skills for the True King, a very slow skill. That's fine with me that his skill is very slow because, I mean, yeah, we need to tone it down a little bit somehow. And that's one of the best ways that they balance things, by the speed of the skills. Criston will gain a +2 to 5%, so it could be 2, 3, 4, 5 defense buff for each birthright he has for 4 turns. So if he starts the battle with 8, 9, 10 birthright, he could possibly have 40, 50% defense buff, so that could be huge. He then strikes a single enemy for 75 to 125% of his defense as physical damage. Wow. His passive is I Send You to Glory. Criston begins combat with 8 to 10 birthright. So he's going to start the battle with 8 to 10 birthright and then get this bonus on top of it, even if it's just 2% the lowest possible. If he has 10, that's 20% defense bonus. That's big. If he gets the maximum, 50%, oh my gosh, that's crazy. Wow, or 100%, I mean. Or no, that's 50%. Yeah, that's right. That's 50%. If he gets the maximum of 5% and 10, he can have a 50% defense buff for 4 turns. That's huge. And it doesn't even stop. It just keeps on going. And 75% stamina. Anytime an enemy is defeated, Criston taunts the enemy for 3 to 4 turns. So it sounds like, does his taunt ever end? I don't know. Because as they kill them, he just keeps on taunting. Wow. This guy is going to be intense. He's definitely going to be somebody you're going to have to go for first. That's just all there is to it. You're going to have to get rid of him so that you can get to the other players. You're not going to even be able to get to them with all this taunt going on. And then you're going to have to beat through his defense buff to get to him. Wow. This guy's tough. His leader skill is the Kingmaker. Anytime Criston is struck by an enemy skill, if he is the team lead, he has a 100% chance to grant a random ally +1 to 2 birthright. So even if it's somebody that's not a Team Green member, they still could get the chance to get that birthright buff. So that's going to be interesting to see how it plays out, because it does not say only green team. It says a random ally. So yeah. So for the tuning section, it says they updated the battle recommended might values across the game to better align with the updated might formula changes from a previous update. We remember that because we saw how that affected the might of our characters, and everybody lost their minds over that one. So they've updated more to that. They've updated battle recommended might values across the game. So that doesn't just mean certain characters, that means everybody, to better align with the updated might formula changes from version 1.0 2.1. So if you're a nerd like me, you may want to take some screenshots of your characters before you do this update. That way you can actually kind of see what happened with this tuning, because you're not going to remember across a bunch of characters exactly what their stats were. So if you have a main team, screenshot them just for kicks and screenshot their stats just so you can see what the change is after this tuning patch hits. So they did some bug fixes, and that's really cool because this game is dark and full of bugs, for real. So they did some alliance fixes, fixed the background flicker when opening certain dialogues in alliance. Okay, I did see that, so that's cool. Added safeguards to the alliance tutorial rapid tap and potential skip scenarios. Don't even know what that was about, so must have been something that wasn't really that big a deal. For bug fixes on champions and enemies, they fixed Davos Seaworth causing a defeat screen in some scenarios using autoplay. Okay, that's cool, because that's one thing that they needed to get control of, was that defeat nonsense when you win. That's really annoying, and that really aggravates players a lot. Fixed skill issues with the skeletal white skill not always working. Okay, I never really use that, so I don't know about that one. Updated the Bolton Pikeman's passive ability description to match his ability. Previously had the incorrect description. Fixed multiple events not being counted properly in Eamon's ability. Okay. Fix the Bolton Packhound's passive ability, allowing it to properly apply scouted to bleeding enemies. So that's going to make that little dude a little bit tougher. He's already kind of somebody you got to watch. That Packhound can wreck you. It can do some damage. So that's gonna make that one a little more interesting. You're going to have to keep your eye on that one and pay attention to that one just a little bit more. Fix brittle impacting healing. This is something that the people in my Discord have been talking about a lot lately, about, why does Caitlyn heal for this and then brittle heal for that? We've noticed that one. So it's cool that that one got fixed. Fix brittle impacting self-inflicted damage. Okay, so I guess, people that did damage to their self when they did a skill no longer do more damage when they're brittle. In the event, they've fixed the ability to tap and target scorpions in Assault on Rook's Rest. That's cool. Fixed gem recommendations for the battles in Assault on Rook's Rest event. Fixed an issue where featured event bonus was being removed from champions upon defeat. Where featured event bonus was being removed from champions upon defeat. Oh, wow. I didn't know about that. But that's obviously the buff that they get for using the featured heroes, I think. That sounds like that was a big deal, and I never even noticed that. So, fixed Proving Grounds timer sometimes disappearing. So that's cool. Let's see now. Some gameplay fixes. Fixed issues with the game getting stuck without updating enemies. So that's cool. That is big. That one is probably the one where you hang up at the end of a battle and there's nobody there, I think. Where sometimes you get stuck and you have to make a gym match to advance and there's nobody you're even hitting, but it registers damage anyway and it costs you to make another turn that you wouldn't have had to make, and it lowers your score. So that's super, super awesome. Fixed issues with gem board pausing extra time between collapses. Okay, so that's going to help with the speed issue. Fixed an issue where sometimes the revive dialog is on top of the shop dialog. Never really noticed that. Fixed an issue with reinforce events not all being reacted to. Never really noticed that. Some of the roster and team edit fixes. Renamed a few of the power-up names when referred to in the ally dialog for consistency and clarity. Fixed champion might value while viewing other players' teams. Okay, so a lot of people have said, is this the one I have been talking about, where the teams start with a certain amount of hit points, and then once you select them and attack them in raids, they end up having 20 to 40,000 more than they did before? I am not convinced that that's what this is, but I'm going to go into the game after we look at this and check that just to see. So we'll give it a test here in just a minute to see if that's what this actually refers to, this right here, the fixed champion might value when viewing other players' teams. So we'll look at that one to see if it actually got fixed or not. Summoning fixes. Fixing an issue with getting shards for a maxed out champion. Maxed out champion shards now convert to Valerian shards as expected. That's cool because that's hit me a couple times where I'm not getting my Valerian shards I'm supposed to get. So I'm glad they fixed that because I wanna summon them dragons, even if they're not used in anything right now, not the meta. I still want to get them. Fixed summon meter displaying the wrong character in some cases. That's not cool. Trials fixes. Fixed locked trial not displaying the unlock criteria. Fixed some issues with some animations and other UI. Improved performance on the legendary trial screen. Added trial complete animations and message. And on trials, if there is a tutorial active, the camera will center that trial to make sure it's visible for all devices. Okay, so that's cool. But one of the things I would have liked to have seen in here, and I really wish that the developers would watch these videos from us content creators so that they could know the things that the players really want to see fixed, and that is the legendary assault damage being off the screen. Now you're talking about centering the camera to make sure it's visible, so can you please do something with that too, because that makes it super hard for us to try to figure out what teams are good against the dragons when we can't even see what the damage they're doing. We have no way to run a parse log or anything like that, so we're relying on that damage on screen, and when we cannot see it, it's just making life really difficult. So please look at that, developers. Okay, on the upcoming, they say, and this is the big one, this is the one I've been waiting to get to because I made a video about this morning. I was first to the field announcing this so that you could see about it. I'm the one that broke the news on this. The new feature, Enter the Crowns Challenge, to test your teams and prove your might in 4 regional tournaments across Westeros. Take unlimited attempts to see how far you can progress in each tournament before the season ends. This new feature will be rolling out to all players over the course of the next month. So this is going to be one of those staggered testing things where some people have it and some people don't. We've seen that already because there are people that are showing me images of things that they are already seeing, and I don't have it yet, but I have a feeling we will have it soon. I don't think this is going to take too long to roll out. I don't think this is going to be one of those 3 or 4 month things. I think this will be within the next week or two we'll have this. That's just a guess from me though, so whatever. It is 4 regional tournaments across Westeros, so that's really cool. Take unlimited attempts. I really like the sound of that. Take unlimited attempts to see how far you can progress in each tournament before the season ends. That's super cool because I like to be able to do things as much as I want to get as good a score as I can. Now, does that mean that every single attempt costs energy? Don't know, but it'd be interesting to find that out. I'm assuming it does, because, you know, they like to use energy as a sink. So they will find ways to make you burn your energy to keep you wanting to play, or to keep you spending to buy energy refills, or whatever, you know, the mindset is around that. But it will be interesting to see if you have to purchase it or if it's free. We'll find that out. 4 regional tournaments across Westeros. That's really cool. I'm really liking the sound of it. Crowns Challenge. I'm thinking it's going to be like an endless battle type thing where you have a tower, enemies are coming at you, and you defend with your team and until you die. So that's probably going to make healer teams, sustain teams, shield teams, things like that are probably going to be very effective in this mode, I would guess, because pure damage will only take you so far. Eventually you're going to need to have a way to heal up some of that if you plan on surviving for a long time. So shield with heal combined would probably be a really good mix. Probably a mix of some damage, some shield, and some heal will probably do the best, I would guess, but I don't know because I haven't got to play with it yet. But that's going to be really interesting to try different teams and try to figure that out. And you know, my alliance is going to be drilling down and figuring out what teams work good. So we're gonna have some information on that coming soon, because I'm going to be doing the crap out of that. A new feature is going to be added for a new way to access all game modes from the play button. This feature will be rolling out to all players soon, so that'll be really cool. Maybe we're going to make it just a little bit more UI friendly. So what I'm going to do now is I want to do a quick test real quick. I want to see if that heal bug, or health bug I should say, in the raids has been fixed or has not been fixed. And it won't take me but 1 second to figure it out, because it happens on every hero that you fight on every team. So all I got to do is go into one raid battle, pick one guy, and look, and we'll see right off the bat. So it was kind of unclear if that sentence that was in the patch notes was applying to that, but we'll find out. Let's go into raids, and here's my dude that I'm got pulled up. I'll just go ahead and take him, and we'll attack, and we will... Oh, wait a minute. I about messed up. I about went into the battle before I even determined whether his team had the ability or not. So I'm going to look at his Ned. Okay, so I'm going to click on his profile. I'm going to long click on his Ned, and I'm going to see that his Ned has 72,600 hit points. Okay, remember that, 72.6. Now, let's fight him. 72.6 is what we had. And now, what does he have? 92,261. You see it right there. So that right there is proof that that has not been dealt with. So there were some in my alliance that thought that it had been dealt with, but hey, I mean, I just showed you it has not been dealt with, because he had 72.6 and then here he had 92,000 or 90 something thousand. So unfortunately, that hit point issue has not been dealt with, and I don't know why, because they told us in a support message that a fix for that would be coming soon. I don't exactly remember if it said in the next update or if it said soon. I can't remember exactly what it said. I'll have to go back there and look at it, but it did say it was going to get fixed. So didn't get fixed this time, that's for sure. We just proved it right there. I just wanted you to see it live so you could know, you know, whether it happened or whether it did not, and it did not. So anyway, that was some patch notes. Wanted to go over them with you so that you could know what's coming up and maybe have a little commentary that you might find interesting from my point of view. I've been playing the game since before release, and I kind of feel like I halfway know what I'm talking about. So I think I've got some commentary that you might be interested in. I don't know. But if you liked the video, if it was entertaining at all or educational at all, then please think about giving me a subscribe and a like. It really helps me push my content out to the algorithm so that it can reach more people. I would like to be able to grow the community for this game because I love the game and I love the community, and I would like to be able to use my content to do good by the community. So I hope that you'll engage with me, and also be sure to check my description for a link to my Discord. We have a thriving, active community there where we love to discuss the game and all kinds of fun stuff. We'd be looking forward to seeing you there. So I appreciate you spending your time with me tonight. Thanks for watching my content, and I'll see you in another video real soon. Peace.